All right, so the time right now is 6:49 p.m. and it is November 20th. Um, it's a Monday, yet again with the Mondays. Um, but right now, uh, I'm in Woodstock, not too far away from my home at all. I'm on Highway 92. Um, Specifically around like a whole bunch of restaurants and stuff like that. Let me actually see. Oh, I got anything else on? Let me turn everything else on too, I guess. But I haven't receiving any good orders on food delivery or even Connect at all. I haven't done a Connect in months, like months. So last time I think I done a Connect was like in summertime, like around June or something. But it's stuff like this, like $20 to go 34 miles, all the way to Atlanta. $7 to go 7 miles, but then, it's over 20 minutes of a drive and it's got multiple stops. I don't know where all those stops are. Like I said, and nobody tips on these trips at all. It's always you're operating. That's crazy. $8 for 27 minutes. In an hour, you only make $16. That's not even including fuel and the actual wait time over at the Taco Bell at all. All this stuff is pretty much factored in. Whenever it's not actually factored in the actual wait time, you know, traffic and everything like that. All that stuff isn't factored in to the true amount. They're just giving you an estimated amount, and based on the estimated amount of what was it, like $8 for 27 minutes. In an hour, you'd only make $16, but then you had to minus that from fuel or whatever. Like, look at that. Look, $12.68 for 21 miles. That's crazy. For over 21 miles right there. Look at that. McDonald's for $2.53 for over 5 miles there. Like, they didn't even think about tipping for that order at all. And it's already 20 minutes for that. Like, in an hour, you'd probably only make $6 at the most if you keep doing orders like that without tips on them. Like, yeah, there's a potential for tips with these orders, but a lot of times what you see is literally what you will get. It's not you work off of the potential that can happen, because if you do, you're going to end up screwing yourself. And trust me, I know exactly about that whole concept of screwing myself, because I've done orders like that before and I've ended up screwing myself, and all I got was just a thank you and then just a wave goodbye, and it's just stuff like that you'll be working for free, literally, like all those miles, $15 for almost an hour of work. Like, that's crazy to me. $15 for almost an hour of work, and they're still sending this trash dollar amount with multiple stops. Somebody just kicked that back out because it's bad. Like, nobody wants that at all. They just kicked that back out. $7 for 7 miles, 7.7 miles actually. So you're still under a dollar a mile. You're operating at 90 cents a mile, because if it was a dollar a mile, it would be $7 for 7 miles, but it's 7.7. It would be a dollar a mile if it was like, $7.47 for 7 miles, 7.4 miles or something like that, right? That would be a dollar a mile. But once you enter the range of the miles being over the dollar amount, that's when you subtract whatever you're thinking that you're working for, and now you're operating in cents. So you're operating at 90 cents a mile. But like I said, you do the math by doing the dollar amount divided by the miles, right? That's what you literally have to do in order to know how much you're getting paid per mile to even do these things or whatever. But then also, if you're working off of time, you do the dollar amount and then you see the time or whatever, and it'll say, $7 to go 27 minutes. Well, in those 27 minutes, I mean, well, in an hour, because there's 60 minutes an hour, and you're already at 27 minutes, so basically round that up to 30 minutes. In an hour, you'd only make $14, but then that's not including gas that you would be using to even get that order, right? You have to keep on doing subtraction of gas because your vehicle runs off of miles per gallon, right? And it's easier to use, in my opinion, it's easier to use, miles in order to calculate how much I'm actually making to see, especially because I like to do $2 a mile or something like that. But in order for me to understand how much I'm actually making or whatever, I use miles. But some people use time. But even with time, and you look at what you're doing, you're like, these numbers aren't even matching up for real. Like, this order, I mean, you can kind of see it right here. It's $23 for 2 people. So, but the thing with like orders like these, whatever, right? There's one person that tipped, and there's one person that either didn't tip or they tip very little. And with these batch orders, you have more of a likelihood to be tip baited than you do with a regular like single order. Trust me, I know this because I've done it before, right? And the reason of why, like I said, they even batch these orders is because they're not going out fast enough because, like I said, somebody did not tip. And just like that headline, that DoorDash put out, is that your order will take a lot longer if you don't tip. And I know that it's like there's the controversy where, people are like, they want to tip after the service. And I do agree with that, like tipping after the service, and that, yeah, Uber and DoorDash should pay us more. But unfortunately, the service industry, like no service industry works to where they're actually paying you a good base rate because they want you to work off of tips. But unfortunately, we have industries like, the gig industry like Uber and DoorDash and everything like that, where they pay us a very, very low base fare, and then they want you guys as customers to tip us, but then also they're charging you guys extra fees here and there, which are causing, the orders to be like astronomically high, and then there's no room to almost like leave a tip. So I definitely understand that, and I wish that, Uber and DoorDash work differently to where, if you guys do receive good service, you guys can tip, or if you guys don't receive good service, you guys don't have to tip. But unfortunately, the way that this works, to Chick-fil-A, I'm not trying to go to Marietta at all. And I don't put orders in. I don't do anything for $4 or $5. That's not worth my time. Plus, that Chick-fil-A line is long as hell for real. Like that line is long. I'm not doing it for $5, man. I'm not doing that. But literally, like I said, I understand like the whole controversy where people are like, I should be able to tip, after I receive the service. And I definitely agree with that, like I said, because if you don't receive good service, I mean, you can always take your tip back, like especially on like Uber and stuff like that, because, they allow you to do that. But I guess on DoorDash, I think it works differently. Like I said, I don't take batch orders because, like I said, one person did tip, and then either the other person didn't tip or they tip very little. And that's why they're batching the orders, because they're taking very, very long to be delivered or put out or whatever. So, like I said, you be doing yourself a disfavor if you take these batch orders. Like, let's say maybe that Schlotsky's order was like $36 for like 2 people. Then I know that, first of all, that's like almost, well, those miles were like 22 miles or whatever. So it's almost $2 a mile. But you can also guess that both people at least tip, like based on that number for like 2 people. You divide that could be around like $16 per person or something like that, or no, not 16. My bad. No, $18 per person. Yeah, $18 per person. My bad. Yeah, around $18 because I said 36. So, or 32, whatever it was. I don't remember. But you can guess that based on that big number there, that somebody tipped very, very good, or whatever, or both people tip very, very good. So it would ration out where, like, even though only one person maybe tip, that person is paying for your time for 2 people, right? Because one person decided not to tip, or they tip, very little, but it sets that ratio kind of like even, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of works in your favor, if you do math like that. But that is $6 going 11 miles. That's under 50 cents a mile. And that's about, somewhere about like, was it 60 cents a mile or something like that? I think, I don't know, but somebody took it, I guess. Little Caesars, let's see what they got for Little Caesars. $10 for 10 miles. That's a very long stretch at $1 a mile. I don't want that because it's at $1 a mile. I don't take dollar amount things because they take too long. And I don't want to be in the Canton area or whatever, the Sixes Road area, I think that was. But that's still like Canton or whatever, because there's nothing out there. My area that I'm working in on DoorDash is Woodstock, because like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm in Woodstock. I'm on Highway 92. I'm not trying to go up to Canton because there's nothing literally out there in Canton usually. There's everything closes really early. Look at that. That's 8 miles for $7. You're going, and like I said, it's always 20 plus minutes every time you see a ride like that. Every time it's always 20 plus minutes, right? So if you do the math on that, every 20 minutes, that's what is it? 14. That's $21 that you've been making in that hour if you consecutively kept getting rides like that or orders like that or whatever. But then, like I said, it's always minus the fuel, right? And, there is no really big potential for you, and they're still trying to send this trash to me. There's not really a big potential if you thinking that you're going to get a tip, because you're probably not. Even if you have the best mannerisms, like if, you work at Chick-fil-A and then, you do gig work on the side and you have like the, Chick-fil-A mannerisms and stuff like that, like the most politest type, you're still not going to get tipped very much, I promise you. Or tipped at all, doesn't matter. Everything is under 50 cents a mile. It's sad. All these times are just trash. Like, this is 40 minutes for $8. So in an hour, I don't even know for real based on that number. Like, in an hour, like, because like a lot of these restaurants take a while or whatever, like in an hour you might only make that $8.70 because you also had to drive 16 miles, which doesn't include the potential time that you have to wait for the order, plus all the other types of stuff. So you might only make literally $8.70 in that hour. Like I said, you don't do stuff like that because you're playing yourself, right? Look at that. Chick-fil-A, $4.14 for 3.2 miles, right? It's $1 a mile, doesn't seem to be too far. But then when you look at the time, you're like 17, and they're still trying to send this order. Like, this order hasn't even popped on my screen for a long time. So somebody just kicked that out for $16.97 for 2 people going almost for an hour. That's horrible. You don't do that. That's crazy, right? That's just horrendous. But like I said, this is what they show me pretty much every day. It never fails. And just to zoom out, Taco Mac, that's definitely a miss. 23 minutes, 6.5 miles. It's almost 7 miles or whatever for $7. Nice $1 a mile. If you like $1 a mile type stuff, that's cool. But and also when you look at orders like these right here, so the base fare is around $2. So then when you do the math on what that's crazy. Over 28 miles. No. And then they're trying to send, where is it? Almost near Cartersville? Hell no. That's crazy. So when you do the math on an order like this where it's $7 or whatever and base fare being $2, that means that the person only tipped $5, right? Which is cool, right? They tipped, but then you also have to put into account that, you're going out your area, you're doing the miles and stuff like that or whatever, stuff like that. That doesn't account for wait time, because if anybody knows about Taco Mac out here in Atlanta, Taco Mac usually has a wait time, especially on the busy nights, especially like this right here, where everybody wants to go out or whatever and stuff like that. They have wait times and stuff like that. So you're going to be potentially waiting for those possible 20 minutes for $7. Maybe if it was around 15 or something like that, maybe I'd do it, and they're still trying to send me that trash Chick-fil-A order. Maybe it's for around like 14 or 15, which was like $2 or whatever, and it would be around $2 a mile or something like that. That would be cool. I wouldn't mind doing that or whatever. Nope. That's crazy. $1 a mile, not even worth my time at all. Like I said, I don't do $1 a mile type stuff. This right here is a big no-no. And yet again, they're trying to get you to drive for over 21 minutes for $4.93 for Uber X Share. That's crazy. That doesn't even include the miles of it being 6 miles plus 3 miles. So that's 9 miles for $4.93. You're operating at a loss. Potentially, what is it, like 60 cents a mile? Let's just see $4.93, right? So here, $4.93, that's the money, right? Divided by 9. You're operating at 54 cents a mile. Like, that type of loss is so crazy to me. Like, how do you even operate at that cost? That's just, like, how do you even do that? How do you even do? I don't even know if that was like a multiple stop trip. So if that was a multiple stop trip, you're definitely in trouble, for real. Look at that, 11 miles right there. Almost, what's that? Almost 12 miles for $9.60, yo. Uber X Share, and look again, it's for over 20 minutes of driving. Literally 26 minutes of driving. Like, how do you do that? How? I just want to be explained to how do you do that? Like I said, if we were in a better economy where we know that, you're going to get a tip, you're going to potentially get, $5 extra, $10 extra, 15 or something like that, for the service that you provide, then yeah, I'd be like, okay, yeah, cool. I can offset the loss and be like, okay, cool, I don't mind going, 11 miles for $9 or something like that, because I'll get, a $10 tip or whatever. So, I'll be making, way over $1 a mile or whatever, but until we're assured that we'll make, tips and not get our tips stolen by the apps, not getting fair adjustments by the apps, by decreasing our money, or the apps just decreasing fares in general, we can't keep doing work like this, because if we do, we're operating at a crazy loss. I personally don't understand, like, how people are taking this stuff, and if people are even getting tips off of orders like this, or rides like that. But if so, I congratulate you, but I just know that on my end, I'm not getting tips, even on the good rides that I do. Like, this is what I do right here, right? And this is usually without tips. So the last time, let's see details. So today is Monday. Let's see earning details. Rider canceled. Yeah, I know. Hold on. Let me go to the last date. So just last week, I made $264.34, which is really sad. This is the type of trips I do right here, which is nope, not that, but $14 right here for 2.6 miles. $22 for 1.7 miles with a $5 tip. That's crazy to me right there, with multiple stops. Like I said, it's always over 20 minutes of a drive for these horrible numbers. Like, if you do it by time, like, look at the numbers that you're working for. You're working for $6 for over 20 something minutes. In an hour, you'd be making $12. around that amount, if that time is even correct. A lot of times it's not, because it's an estimate. It's an estimated time. So a lot of times, you're having to wait for the customer. You having to, go through traffic and stuff like that, go through loopholes here and there and stuff like that. This is 50 cents a mile right there for sure. That's a for sure no. $13 for over 19 miles. But look at the time. That's over 40 minutes of a drive for $13. Like how are you? And they're still sending out these Johnny. I think they just sent me this one right here. This Johnny's New York pizza shits. But just look at the times. Like, this one right here. No, not that one. But this one right here for $11.91, going 0.6 miles or whatever. Pretty simple. And that was all yesterday, actually. Yeah, it was yesterday. I think that it was a concert that was happening. I think so, something like that. But rider canceled. Rider, yeah, and that was an Uber X share. It's showing that they paid me $0 for that. How's that? I don't know about that. How? No, that's a no. I don't know about that. That's crazy. I definitely don't remember putting anybody in my car for $0 for real. I don't do that. That's crazy. But here's another one. This was November 16th right here. Yeah, $13 for 3 miles. This one right here was an airport run. It was a scheduled one right here. $29 for 27 miles. $1 a mile or whatever. A lot of times the airport runs be $1 a mile, especially like on the street or whatever. Or I think, like I said, I think this was a reserve one though. This one was reserved. Yeah, it was a reserved one. Yeah, so a lot of times they don't give you too much for these reserve ones or whatever, and they be far apart, so you're not gonna get like good ones. No, I'm not doing that. You're not gonna get like the really good ones. Going to like the airport, they're gonna pay really good or whatever. A lot of times the airport trips only pay $1 a mile, so you usually have a higher chance of being tipped, but not all the time. But even when you do, it's always appreciated because of it. This one was $9.11 for 1.5 miles. And this is all the 16th. That's $17 for 2.9 miles. That's at $4.40 for 0.7 miles. $8.33 for 0.8 miles. $12.93 for 2 miles with a $5 tip on that one. $4.39 for 0.7 miles. $5.68 for 0 miles. I don't know. These Uber X shares, they be calculated like weird and stuff like that. Like they don't calculate the. I don't know. Some reason like they be like glitching in the system or something. They don't calculate correctly. That's crazy to me. So you're telling me that both people paid like $3 to get their order delivered to go 6 miles? No, that's crazy. Unfortunately, it's like that. But what's that? $7.81 to go 2 miles. $8 to go 3.3 miles. $11 to go 2.7. This one was $30 to go 25.9 miles. Like I said, a lot of times the airport trips they operate at $1 a mile or whatever. It's kind of hard to get it above $1 a mile or whatever. So I would have loved to have this trip at $50 or something like that, to be about $2 a mile. But it doesn't. I guess Uber will have to charge the customer way more in order for them to give me $50 to do my $2 a mile for the airport, like for long distances like that. And different stuff like this right here. This one right here, I had to go to that was November 14th. But yeah, I had to go to the airport for something or whatever. So I just took this to pay my way out there. It wasn't the best time at all. Like, just that horrible. That time was horrible right there. But I took it because I was like, you know what? Let me go to the airport. Let me try something or whatever. So, I don't know. Walgreens, $4 for over 21 minutes. I don't think so. That's crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much it for real. You know, that's how I drive. That's what I look for when it comes to how I do things. And it's not the easiest thing to get those types of numbers. It's a whole lot of waiting and a whole lot of declining trips like this right here. Like how, you're seeing me just declining and waiting. There's a whole lot of that really. Almost for hours. Also, I don't think I said it, but I've been out ever since 5 p.m. today. And right now it is 7:15 p.m. So that's over 2 hours without me receiving something that's even remotely good at all, to my standards at all, for me to even work for. It's just like, just everything is just trash. And I don't know. It's like every day out here, the money just dwindles and dwindles and dwindles down every single day. $4.61 for 6.3 miles. That's crazy to me. But the money just keeps on like getting lower and lower. And especially at these times where like it's just like there's a unanimous agreement between like just all the customers that they're just not gonna tip for anything at all. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's no tips on the orders barely. Firehouse subs. No, I'm not trying to go out to Canton because there's nothing out there in Canton. You're gonna get me stuck out there for real. Canton closes. A lot of stuff closes early, so if I do get something or whatever, it's only gonna be up until like 9 p.m. But even in that area, everything closes. Like, and I don't even think that they had me in the busy area of Canton. It was like the they have like a small, like a townish type of part of Canton or whatever that they'll put you in, but that won't get you anywhere at all. So you got to keep driving like to find a spot out there that's actually gonna get you somewhere. But it's like I said, it's like a unanimous decision that all customers are just not gonna tip at all. Like, I don't know what it is with that, but the numbers are just horrible. So it's like this crazy battle between the apps and then the customers trying to make money and stuff like that. But you can't make money if every day you're dealing with stuff like this. Like, what's this right here? I'm not going to that Chick-fil-A because the line is still long. Like, Chick-fil-A's lines are always long. Usually they have the orders ready, but the lines are long, and I don't put food in my car for $5, because I barely put anybody in my car for $4. But $5, I don't usually work for that amount, because it's easier to kind of put somebody in your car for $4 than it is to get food, into your car for $5. Because, like I said, the wait times that they give you are just estimated times, and it's always different. It just depends on how busy the place is. So I try to keep my cancellations down, by not accepting things that I know are gonna be time consuming, especially orders like the $5 or whatever and stuff like that. Nope, that's way too far. $5, $4, $3. I definitely don't even touch anything for $3 for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much that. I guess. Like I said, I don't understand, how everything is working where unanimously, like, it's just this whole decision where, like I said, customers aren't tipping, but then also the orders, like, just the apps aren't wanting to pay you at a decent rate, so it's not making it any better. And it's like really sad when you have bills and stuff like that, and you can't make money any type of days because you're having to deal with this, going through. That's crazy to me. So you're telling me two customers paid around $2 and some cents. No, that's crazy. But it's crazy, when you have bills that are due and stuff and everything's just stacking up and you're not making any money, and you're like, well, how am I supposed to do this? Even with all the different types of apps that you may have on your phone and stuff like that. Even if you're signing up for apps proactively and you're like, okay, cool, if I add this app, I might add an extra $100 to my day or something like that. But in truth, be told, like, that a lot of the apps have, long wait lists. Like, you might not hear nothing from some apps for over 6 months. Literally, I signed up for Walmart Spark back in January of this year. I didn't hear back from them to even do my background check until a few days ago, and it's November. It literally took them almost 11 months to get back to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, just to tell me that I'm still on a wait list. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I won't even make that money at all. So many different apps like that have crazy wait lists still. Like Instacart, I've been waiting over 2 years for them. What else? Grubhub, I've been waiting over 2 years for them. They still have long wait lists. I've been trying to sign up with Grubhub for the longest time. And lots of other different apps, but lately I've just been running trash ass Uber and DoorDash. It hasn't been the easiest and stuff. And like I said, I'm not really like complaining or whatever. It's just bringing awareness and just seeing like how does everybody make money out here without taking things as a loss and having to put more gas into your car than what you're actually working for. That's crazy. 14 miles for $10. Over 30 minutes of a drive for $10. That's crazy to me. So in an hour, you probably only make $20. That's crazy to me. But how is everybody, making money without having to do this stuff at a loss? Like, how is everybody doing it? Especially like out here in Atlanta with the market being, oversaturated, just having to deal with everything that's going on out here with, I don't know if everybody's experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing on my phone, like that you can see where the orders are just cheaply paid for. It's not no money out here. It's just dead, literally like this every day. And like I said, I have a video on my channel that I did before, but the map is never having any type of surge. Nowhere. There's no surge in sight. Like, and this is like this every day. Every day is like this, right? Every day. Like, and you can't keep driving around to keep trying to look and see which area might have this, which area might have that, because like I said, I've done that before. I still occasionally do that, but then inevitably you're running your car out of gas and you're having to fill up more than you're making money to plenish what you're putting back into your car. So I can go from here to from Woodstock to Roswell. Hopefully I get something out there. If I don't, I might go up to Alpharetta. That's already 20 or 30 miles that I already just put out my car. So that's already a gallon of gas gone if I haven't even gotten anything. And then let's say there's nothing out there in Alpharetta. I'm sitting out there for over an hour or whatever, or something like that. And I find that, no, not going to Wingstop at all. That's $1 a mile. I don't do things for, like I said, $1 a mile. But then, I might go from Alpharetta all the way to maybe Dunwoody or Sandy Springs or something like that. That's another 25 minutes or something like that, just depending on where I am in Alpharetta. That's another 25 minutes. Could be another 16 miles, right? So that's almost half of a gallon that I just wasted, right? And all these things like add up, and you'll see it add up because you'll see that, you're at the gas station a lot more or whatever and stuff like that. And even if you don't do like, mathematical equations to see how much you're losing, you'll know that you're losing more than you're making because you'll see yourself at the gas station a lot more than you actually working to actually put money into, your pockets. You're at the gas station putting out $20 here, $20 there, $15 there, and you've only done enough orders to make around, you know what I'm saying, like $60 for the day, but you're already out like 45, you know what I'm saying, or like almost $50 in gas or whatever. You know, it's crazy because you're driving all around trying to find which city has, you know, the orders that you're looking for to make the most money. So then, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to be out on the streets for very long. Because like I said before, insurance works off of probability of you being into an accident, right? So the longer that you're on the road, the more probability that you have of being into an accident. And my theory is that, well, I want to decrease the amount of time that I could be out on the road, or that I want to be out on the road. So then I'll have a less likelihood of me being into an accident, which being into an accident out here in Atlanta is very, 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 very probable. Like, it's insane with the amount of accidents that happen out here. No, that Taco Bell line is crazy long. I just said that. But the probability of being into an accident out here in Atlanta is very, very probable. You will definitely possibly get into an accident out here in Atlanta with the types of drivers that are out here. It's crazy, right? So if you don't want to have your car totaled, you don't want to be hit in the back, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to rear end somebody because, you know, you're having to stop hard because people are, you know what I'm saying, weaving in and out of lanes for whatever reason. You know, it gets kind of hectic out here. So my thing is that I want to make as much money that I can make for the day in the smartest way possible without having to use much gas in my car. So then I can go home or whatever and be safe for the rest of the day, rest of the night, and stuff like that. You know, I don't need all the money in the world doing this or whatever. You know, I wouldn't mind extra money to, you know, carry over, you know, for whatever else I need to do. But as far as just earning money that you would need, this is, wow, that's crazy. Over an hour for $25. And that's crazy. It's putting you all, no, that's crazy to me. And these types of trips you don't even accept because you don't even know where you're going. It's just 6 minutes away, but they don't know. Hell no. But my thing, like I said, is just working off of, you know, just getting your money and getting off the road. You know, I've seen so many new Teslas, so many new cars with big dents in them. Like, I'm talking about big dents. Like, the doors is smashed in. Like, new Teslas. Like, how did you smash this new Tesla for real? How did you smash this new Honda? How did you smash, like, just these new Altimas and stuff like that? How are you smashing these new cars, you know what I'm saying, driving, like, you know what I'm saying, like, out here, you know? And you'll figure it out that you're not supposed to be on the road for that long because your car will eventually probably look like those people's cars if you're on the road for too long. You know, you could be getting road fatigue or whatever. You know, or you could be getting into an accident with a really bad driver and then boom, your car's messed up, you know? So it all just depends. Like I said, I like to drive. You know, I'm learning to drive for, you know, very little time, you know, and making my money the quickest way possible. So that I don't have to be out and I don't have to fit the statistics of insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, of the longer that you're out on the road, the more probability that you have to be into an accident. I don't want to drive for 10 and 12 hours and experience road fatigue and then find out that I'm drifting off with even, you know what I'm saying, a passenger in my car, you know, or passengers in my car, and then boom, you know, I don't see this car coming up on my left side or on the back of me because I'm too tired to even focus on what I'm doing, and then boom, I crash my car, you know, somebody gets hurt. Like I said, I don't do 10 or 12 hours anymore because I've experienced a long road fatigue and I've almost crashed my car multiple times because of the road fatigue, you know. And that's something that I don't want to do because I don't want to have that type of, you know, like guilt that, you know, I crashed my car or that, you know, I should have stopped driving, you know, because I was too tired. I'm trying to chase, you know, money, but, you know, it's not enough money out here to even work for, but I'm still trying to do it anyway. And then boom, I just lose my way of even making my money. You know what I'm saying? So I decided that, you know, I'm not going to drive unless it's profitable, unless it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm getting paid for it. Just like everybody else would agree that no task that you want to do, you be paid less for. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more tasks that you do or whatever, you'd want to be paid more for, right? Just like how a lot of, W-2 workers are like, when your managers ask you to do something that's out of scope, or they ask you to do this extra task, like, or somebody else's job, you're like, okay, well, I'm only one person, but you're only paying me to do one job, but you're wanting me to take over this whole other job that also causes for, or calls for, extra compensation, or calls for a different percentage of a, like a compensation or whatever, or something like that. You think, well, no, this is a bad deal. I'm working more and being paid less. They're getting over on me, right? And that's the same thing with driving, like with gig work and stuff like that. You want to be compensated fairly for the work that you do. You don't want to be doing more and then being paid less. Like, you don't want to do that at all, because you will literally come out on the short end of the stick every time. If a person doesn't feel like they have to tip you, they will not tip you at all. So that $7 that you worked for to go like 20 miles or something like that, like how I was just showing you, or that $7 that you just worked for going over 10 miles or something like that, that's the only money that you're going to get. And you better be happy with it, because like I said, if you get a customer that says, well, they don't have to tip you or something like that, or they paid the fee to, for you to pick them up, and that's all that you're getting, then you can't really blame anybody, because you worked for that $7 to go those 10 miles, like I said. And that's just, the end all be all of that type of concept. That's trash right there. $16 to go 21 miles. Like I said, it's just, I don't understand how, how people operate at where you're doing less, you're doing more for less. Like all these trips right here, like, look at that. If you're doing it by time, 15 minutes for $5.81, right? Every 15 minutes. So you might get $20, in the hour, but you have to look at the fact that you're doing, what is that? That's 10, so that's over 7 miles right there. 7 miles for, what's it called? $5.81, right? This other one, like I said, you don't do batched orders, because, like I said, people, the reason why they batch them is because one person did not tip very good, or they did not tip at all, and that one order has been sitting there for the longest time at all, or the longest time, or whatever, and now they're trying to batch it to get it delivered even quicker. So the person that just took that order is going to do that order. Those two people paid, I guess, if you want to divide it by 2, because that's the easiest for me, you divide it by 2, you get around like $4 and some cents, but you're going 10 miles. If you split the 10 miles for each customer, you're going about 5 miles for each customer. So you're still working under $1 a mile. You're working for 90 cents or even 80 cents a mile at that point. And it's just not very profitable, because you're not going to reach your money in a quick enough time. Because like I said, the amount that you see on your screen is literally the amount that you're going to be getting. There is no probability that you can have flexible, a flexible association with the fact that, you might receive a tip. There is no such thing as I might receive a tip. It's the amount that you see is what you're going to be working for, and that's it, for real, right? But like I said, this is what Atlanta looks like. Oh, and let me show you the airport right now, right? So this is what I see every single day. I don't understand how this works, right? There's no surge at the airport, but like, look at this. Every time there's over 100 flights out here, it's over 300 cars there, and you're gonna be waiting for a really, really, really long time. Like, you're waiting at the lot for almost an hour before you receive your first trip. So everybody's just sitting there with their cars idling, like just burning gas, just hoping for a trip or whatever, or something like that. Or just people have their apps on or whatever, and you're just not going to receive trips like that, because there's too much supply for the amount of demand. So people need to understand that you need only like no more than 15 cars in the queue, like online. So then there could be like a crazy splurge of surge, right? So then the surge might be like $30 or whatever, and then boom, everybody goes online, they get the surge or whatever for like, these 123 flights that are, what I'm saying, are coming in. Everybody can eat like that, You just need to have the lowest amount of supply versus the amount of demand. Is literally a supply and demand type of thing. It's literally economics, guys. Literally economics. It maybe seem hard, but it's not. That's trash right there. I'm not doing that. Right? But that's what I deal with or whatever. So if you go to the airport, it's never really worth it because there's crazy amounts of wait times and cars there. I don't know what they wait for real. Like, that's one thing I don't understand, what they wait for, because not everybody's going to get a ride. Because, like I said, the supply is way too high for the demand. So I don't understand how they're going to even do that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But they do it every day. I don't know what it is. Like people just flock to the airport. I don't understand that. Right? But like I said, there's not ever any surge or whatever. So, kind of just seeing like, how does everybody make money out here? If you don't go to the city, somewhere or something like that, or there's not any events or whatever, how do you make money out here? It doesn't really make any sense, really. Let's end the dash here because that's just trash. Saying that it's busy, but it's really not busy, or it's busy, but it's a really bad busy because the orders aren't paying enough, right? Like I said, I have an amount that I'm looking for, and unfortunately, if I can't meet that amount, then it's going to cause me to be on the road for a lot longer, which means I'm going to have to be out with dangerous drivers. And like I said, I don't want to have to do that for like $7 and I happen to get into a wreck because of the fact that I didn't make enough money in the amount of time or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, just trying to chase, these like little amounts of dollars. Like, it's crazy. And it didn't, like I said before in my other video, it didn't used to be like this. And then now, because pay is being decreased by both the apps and then the customers not tipping at all, it's causing a just an influx of just everybody fighting for crumbs because, it's a really, really tough time or whatever right now to even make money, doing like gig apps and stuff like that. It's a really, really tough time, really, really tough time. And like I said, I'm not understanding, how everybody's actually doing it out here. If there's like some type of hack or something like that, some type of cheat code that everybody's getting, to even survive in these times or whatever. But, I'm all open to want to know, like, if there's actually a cheat code, that'd be pretty cool. But that's about it for real. I'm gonna, oh no, hold on. I didn't mean to go to Alpharetta. I'm gonna try to go on about, 8:30 or whatever. Like I said, it's been over 2 hours and 37 minutes now that I've been waiting for an order that makes sense. And like I said, I'm still on highway 92. And, once I get an order or something like that, I guess I'm going to do it or whatever and see if I can keep on replicating that for the whole entire night and try to at least make $200 or something like that. But I haven't made that ever since, what is it? I think since Morgan Wallen was out here, which is not too long ago. But other than that, I haven't been making $200 a night, even $100 a night at that. It's been really, really sad out here. Like, really sad.